as you may be aware, and as you've been following the news, there was supposed to be a burial service that was supposed to take place in Johannesburg, South Africa today for the late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu, but it was blocked by the Attorney General of Zambia. And so the service was still taking place, but the court case was still in session. And then the UPND just put up that image, just reacting to the halt that was announced by the court there. And they went further to put up, they say, breaking. The burial of former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu has been halted until finalization of court proceedings. The matter will be heard on 4th July 2025, not August there. So 4th July, that's when the matter will be heard, but the burial was halted. While the chase service was still taking place, so you can even see on SABC, they are even having 4 screens there. One at the at the cathedral that was hosting the requiem, and the other one in court where it was happening. And then the Attorney General by the Constitution, is the custodian of public interest. That's the UPND posting during the day. And then the Attorney General also offered an interview to ZNBC where he explained his rationale for suing the former First Lady and the children, including Makebi Zulu, in the South African courts in order to hold the burial proceedings. He said one of the reasons is that they would like to have an opportunity to negotiate with the family. And he was hoping if new negotiators on both sides can be instituted. That's if new people come from government and new people from the Lungu family. But I do not see the Lungu family changing Makebi Zulu for any other spokesperson or negotiators that they're already using. So that's a hope from the Attorney General there. Breaking, the burial of former President Edgar Chagwa Lungu has been halted until finalization of court proceedings. The matter will be heard on 4th, they keep on saying August, it's July actually, the one that has been officially communicated there. That's according to the UPND. And these were the images at the shade service where Makebi Zulu was interacting with the former First Lady there. And then also they took time to appear in court where they had the one-on-one with the judge. So these are some of the findings or pretty much what came out of that. So Smart Eagles reports former President Edgar Lungu's final journey blocked by politics, South Africa. The burial of former Zambian President Edgar Chagwa Lungu has taken a dramatic legal turn as his family challenges what they call political persecution in death by the Zambian government. A court case now looms in Pretoria, launched just hours before the scheduled funeral service. Family spokesperson Makebi Zulu did not mince his words. This is an opportunity to tell the story. If it calls for us to bury him here in South Africa, for that truth to be told, so be it. But we will not allow false narrative to be crafted over his coffin. Mr. Zulu said government insistence on controlling the funeral process was not about national respect, but rather about public relations and image laundering. They want to give the international community the perception that they treated him well, but the truth is they abandoned him and stripped him of his benefits. They refused him medical help, and now they want to fly his body back in a jet they never sent while he was alive. The family claims that President Lungu was even denied funds for medical treatment in 2023, despite being entitled for support as a former head of state. President Hakainde Hichilema's government said that there were no funds. When Lungu offered to pay, they said no. A month later, all his entitlements were taken away, and now they want to select which privileges apply to him posthumously. It is absurd and immoral. That's the argument Makebi Zulu put across when he gave an interview. So you could see on the left there, you see the judge having an interaction with the people that were sued, and also whoever was representing the state. So Fred Membe put up this post. He was part of the people that were in South Africa, South Africa. That's if they hadn't traveled back there by now. Only the first and the seventh respondent are permitted to visit or inspect or allow further individuals to visit or inspect the body of the late president. Gauteng High Court, South Africa. So the High Court in South Africa has still maintained that only the people, that's the former First Lady and children, the ones that are sued pretty much, that are sued by the Attorney General, those are the ones that can permit who gets to see the former president's body or who they allow to see the body until this judgment is given. So things still stand the way they are. And then prima facie, that's what the Attorney General said. This was posted by the UPND. And then Chief Atayari weighs in to say, Makebi Zulu is calling on Zambians to raise and speak for Edgar Lungu. How do you fight for someone who is dead? Will he come back and thank you? This is all about this boy, very stubborn and delusional. So Chief Atayari calls Makebi Zulu, says he's just doing it for himself and not for Edgar Lungu, no, the family. These are the images that from the cathedral during the service. That is Tessilia Lungu in the center, Chawama Member of Parliament, and also the late president's daughter. And then UPND says, if the South African court rules against the state, then this will be our last stop. We are just assisting Zambian's Attorney General, Mulilo Kabesha. So the Attorney General went further to say, if indeed the Lungu family wins this case, the Zambian government will not do anything further. That's their last stop, according to him. And he also communicated to say he's actually hoping that things will be resolved between the family and the Zambian government before even the court's dates that have been announced. Ultimately, that's his goal, he says. And then one of Edgar Lungu's daughters also spoke. Edgar Lungu's daughter, Chieso Lungu, giving vote of thanks. So that's the service. So the service proceeded. What was cut short or cancelled was a burial, which was supposed to take place. So his body still stays in the morgue. But the church service continues. So this makes it the second church service that they're having in South Africa. And then Fred Membe goes further to say, we keep wondering why there is so much desperation to be the first to see the body. Why? So those are questions that Fred Membe asks there. And then Chief Atayari goes, are these the arguments that you bring before court? Clearly, it's personal. So some of the things that Makebi Zulu had pointed out, says Chief Atayari, those are personal arguments. And then UPND say, court asks GRZ to make its submission on the 3rd of July 2025, and respondents Lungu family to respond by 4th July 2025. The ruling has been set for July 18th, 2025. Meanwhile, Barrio suspended Attorney General. So those are the dates. So the Attorney General, the Zambian Attorney General, has been given a date to submit before 3rd July. I mean, on 3rd July or before. What is the Lungu family is also requested to respond by 4th July. What is the judgment to be on the 18th? So meaning that would be like almost a month after the former president that died. Before the judgment will be given. So this case has moved into July. So those are the dates that you should take note of. And then that's the former vice president, Inonge Wina. She was part of the people that were in South Africa expecting to witness the burial that was earlier announced. But as things stand, it was blocked. So probably a good number of them were flown back to the country until that case is finally adjudicated over. And then they say, we were asked by the court that what if the president wants to see the body, Makebi Zulu, so referring to President Hakainde Hichilema, part of the argument that was presented, or the question that was presented to them. So that was a thing. But what if President Hakainde Hichilema wants to see the body, what next? I think Makebi did not respond to that. Probably it will be done when they have that hearing on the 4th of July. So these are some of the images after the court proceedings. They went to the church service. Burial of Edgar Lungu suspended pending court outcome. So you can see former Religious Affairs Minister Godfrida Sumaili on the far left there. In the center, you can see former First Lady Esther Lungu, and then I think on the far right there, that's the elder sister to the late President Edgar Chagwa there at the service. And then we will tell the truth of Edgar Chagwa in court. Even the head of state who was, even the head of state who was refused to land in Zambia as a mediator, Lungu family spokesperson. So Makebi says they had actually sent a former head of state to go and come and mediate, talk to President Hakainde Hichilema. And then Makebi argues to say that that president's jet wasn't even allowed to land in Zambia. So there have been rumors that have been flying around to say that president that was sent was former South African president Jacob Zuma, and names have been flying around, but the truth will come out during this court hearing. So he withheld the name. He says he's going to present it during the court hearing to say the doctor sent a mediator to Zambia, and the Zambian government did not allow his jet to land in Zambia. That was the Archbishop Arik Banda that was supposed to preside over the service, so the burial of the president, but it did not happen. They just ended up just having a normal service, memorial service. And then Reverend Water highlights some of the things that have been going on. So Reverend Water Mwambazi says, the Edgar Chagwa death conspiracy theories by three. So one of the theories is that he is alive and never died. That's one theory. And then the second theory is that they want his body for rituals. That's the second theory. The third theory is that they wanted to smuggle something in the coffin, so sad that his death can be reduced to such ridiculous antics. Can we do the right thing and close this chapter, please? Let Edgar Chagwa be buried in Zambia with full honors. So he says he just highlights some of the theories that have been going around amongst those three. And then he goes, the afterthought. The truth is more strange than this. Keep following, and then you learn how legal conundrum and the situation has created. So that's where Reverend Water weighing in. And then some of the people that were part of the funeral procession in the church service, you can see Hari Kalaba on the far left, GBM in the center, KBF there, and then David Fismuela right next to KBF. And then Joe Malanchi there, former Foreign Affairs Minister there. A number of people that were already flown into South Africa for the service. And then also there are also some members of parliament there. Let me just show you some of the members of parliament that were there. Just stand by. So those are the images that transpired earlier on. Then pretty much Makebizu offered an interview to SABC, pretty much all the media stations in South Africa that have been carrying this story, BBC, and yeah. And then that's where he expressed all those things. He says they denied former head of state and undertaking medical landing rights. Government refused to grant access to that former head of state. So up to now, he's not naming the former head of state, but I'm sure we'll learn of it. Iris Kaingo was also there, Zambian socialite. She was part of the funeral process in South Africa. And then some members of parliament offer their condolences to the former first lady there. Some of the images, you can see Fred Membe there interacting with Tesila Lungu, and then comforting the sister by the side there. Edgar Chagwa is the elder sister on the far left there, just next to Tesila Lungu. And then KBF also says, it's truly heartbreaking to see former First Lady in such pain. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, and we will continue to stand by your side during this difficult time. That's KBF offering his condolences and comfort to the former First family and Esther Lungu in particular. Part of the people that were there, just John Sangwa is a prominent Zambian lawyer, part of the church service. Those are the ones that had traveled. You can see former vice president in the center there, Inonge Wina, Given Luvinda, walking to the church service. And then other members of parliament and people from the PF Central Committee there. This was the former First Lady outside the church as they were waited. Godfrida Smaili, and then the elder sister to Edgar Chagalungu there. Some of the images, GBM and Harika were interacting during the church service. And then Fred Membe, Sean Tembo took time to also comfort former First Lady Esther Lungu. Reverend Water also says, so I've just watched Makebi's address in church, and I get it. The family is very angry, but can someone explain to me why even close colleagues and well-wishers will not be allowed to view the body? So he asked those questions to say, why are the others not allowed to view the body? But I think this is just because it's temporal until the verdict is given in the injunction that has been presented by the Attorney General of Zambia. Then these are some of the South Africans that had gone to interact with a bishop that was elected to the service. And Chief Etali says that at Akainde HM, I will never forgive you. What are you talking about? If he has forgiven those who embezzled, what about me? Don't digress. We are talking about Edgar Chagalungu's burial here. And then he says, I'm a politician, not a criminal. And in politics, there is no permanent enemy. So I can also negotiate in Gafyashupa. But for now, I am okay because I have an agenda. So he's pushing an agenda. He admits to say he's hoping for forgiveness from President Hakainde Hichilema, so that probably he can come back in the country from his self-imposed exile. And then Mao Sampa creates a meme, says Mukamfana Tochi, Mukasuwa Tabatama Kansange. So pretty much referring to say, one day you seek me, or you seek me with a torchlight, but you will not find me there. That's Mao Sampa, Material Member of Parliament. And then some of the images where you see at the far left, Inonge Wina during the state service, Given Winda and other PF officials there. And then on the far left, right there, you can see Sean Tembo in South Africa. So as things stand, the burial has been postponed until further notice, ladies and gentlemen. We will keep updated with the outcome. But according to what Attorney General has communicated, to say the ultimate goal is pretty much for the two parties to negotiate new terms and come to an agreement. Not necessarily that they want to ride out the entire process, that the timelines that have been given by the South African court. So the Zambian government is hoping that the negotiated settlement can come through between the Lungu family and government before even those dates that have been announced by the court. So that's why they halted that. But they've also mentioned to say if that fails, that will be the last stop for the Zambian government. They will not push it further. That's if the Lungu family wins this court case up to this point. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen.